What's up, guys? We're back in the garage. We're done with the electric car videos for a while. If I get the opportunity to drive another electric car, I may do another video on those. But we're back in the garage. We're back to doing mods. And today we're going to fix something that I believe Subaru, Toyobaru, however you want to call it, should have done from the factory on this car. And it's something that frankly annoys the mess out of me. Not a big deal to some. I understand to some degree why they did it, but to me, I think it's an issue that needs to be fixed. So we're going to dive right in and we're going to get started. So an issue that has bugged me since day one of owning this car is something that I believe Toyota, honestly, and Subaru should have included on this car from the beginning, which is hood struts. Okay, so my model year is a 2023, but as we all know, this car came out in 2022, and for the life of me, I can't seem to understand why we have one of these things. Now, I get it. This is supposed to be lightweight, budget-friendly sports car, but this, as opposed to hood struts, weight-wise, I honestly feel like that's negligible. As far as cost, I got the hood strut kit through Import Image Racing during the Black Friday sale for like, I think it was like 35 bucks or something crazy. I would pay an additional $35 for this car for it to have that from the factory. Truthfully, they probably could do it for a heck of a lot less. And again, the thing that confuses me the most is the 4Runner that's over here has hood struts. And let me just show you the crazy thing. This is what bogs my mind. So you may be saying to yourself, well, you know, the 4Runner, yada, 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 it's a new car and it's premium and it costs more. This is my 2001 Solera that has made several appearances on the channel. And guess what? Hood struts. Now, mind you, those aren't the originals. I did a video on replacing those because they had failed after 20 years. But look, hood struts on a 20-year-old Toyota. Like, what? Just doesn't make any sense. Makes no sense at all. And if we come over to the 4Runner, Toyota, I don't, Toyobaru, I just don't get it. Okay, as mentioned, I bought this kit on Import Image Racing's website over Black Friday. Not sponsored by them. If you guys happen to see this video and want to sponsor me, I would love it. You got quite a bit of things on your website that I'd love to put on my car, but I just don't have the funds right now to buy everything that is on there. I will say I did find a funny sticker. This was $1. It's the old Intel logo from like the late 90s, early 2000s. It says RTV inside. Just thought it was funny with all the whole RTV stuff going on with the car. Having a IIR sticker, and then of course the kit. They have two kits. They have one that's like $100, and these are carbon. I don't know if they're real carbon or not. I've never seen them in person. I would assume so at that price point. I'm sure they're a little bit lighter if they're real carbon, but I mean, these don't weigh anything to begin with. Kit's all metal, nice, got pads and everything. There aren't any instructions, but there's plenty of videos online on how to install these. They actually have one on their website. Kevin Vo also made one too when he put them on his car. So I'm not necessarily going to make the video on how to install them, but I will tell you, if you come across this video and you are installing them and there's some questions or anything, put them in the comments below. I'm happy to answer any questions as a DIYer. I'm in my garage. I don't have a shop, so no fancy tools or anything like that. But truthfully, I think all you need is a basic socket set to get this job done. So I'll go throw you guys up on the tripod. We'll get a time lapse going. We'll get these thrown on, and then we'll get that old hood prop removed from the car. Well, I misspoke. I guess I am going to make this a how-to video. So when you purchase these from IIR, at least, the cheap set doesn't actually have any of this stuff labeled. if you watch Justin's video with BTR Garage, Kevin's video, or even IIR's video, you know, these are separated with a nice foam thing. If you buy the carbon ones I was referring to earlier that are a lot more expensive. And then these brackets are labeled, but on the cheap kit, you get no labeling. But it seems to be pretty self-explanatory. That seems to be your bottom bracket. That seems to be your top bracket. Obviously the strut, you get it oriented the right way, and it should work. I'm gonna check for clearances on this before I tighten everything up. Then I'll move to the passenger side, and then I'll come back to you guys. All right, so hopefully you guys can see it. Got the struts on both sides. Special shout out to Justin at BTR Garage. Did watch his video, and he recommended stuffing a rag down in the hole in the fender. Definitely a good idea, just because if you lose a bolt or the bracket or ratchet or socket or anything falls down into that fender, you're gonna have a pretty long day ahead of you. You're gonna have to unbolt the fender liner and dig in there and get whatever fell down there out, as opposed to doing a quick, you know, less than 10-minute install. So let's see if this will hold this up together. So take the hood prop out, and boom, look at that. Hood is holding itself up. Let's see if it, we'll pull it down. Yep, pulls itself up. And all joking aside, guys, besides the aesthetics of it, there are some real practical implications for having a hood set up like this. The primary ones that I can see is, like, say you're at a track day, which I was yesterday, and, you know, after your lap, you go to the paddock, or after your laps, and you go to the paddock and you're cooling down, you want to have your hood open. If the weather is not favorable, if it's a little bit windy, you have to keep an eye on this thing, because it has happened where the hood prop is in, and even though it looks like it hooks in, it doesn't hook up very well. It's just kind of loosely in there. And if the wind catches it enough, it can come up, smack your windshield. It can fly up enough, and then it just slams down. There's a lot of different things that can happen. And truthfully, the same scenario could happen if you take this thing to a car show. If you want to leave the hood open, maybe you've got this engine bay dressed up and got different things on there to accent the engine bay, and you want to show that off, you know, kind of the same principle. You want to have it where it's more secure. The downside, obviously, kind of mentioned this with the Solera, after a while, you know, the gas and the struts fail, and then the hood doesn't hold itself up, and then you end up holding it up with a 2x4 or clamping the strut to hold the thing up. But truthfully, I think that's a trade-off that I'm willing to take, with obviously not having the hood prop in the way when I'm doing oil changes, maintenance, things like that. And again, for the peace of mind for when I do have this hood open at the track, car show, what have you, I don't have to worry about it flying open. So with that being said, install was super easy. These aren't the fancy hood struts that are carbon, so I guess you don't get the labeled parts and whatnot, but it was very straightforward to figure out. They only can go one way, and the brackets really only fit one way, top and bottom, left and right. So honestly, the install is pretty self-explanatory. But if you have any comments, questions, if you're doing this install and you're kind of confused, or you just want suggestions, or you were looking into these, you saw these were significantly cheaper, and you wanted to go this option instead of the $100 carbon option, you know, so far I've been pleased with them, but I just installed them. So if you're looking at this video maybe a year or so from now and you're questioning how these held up, comment down below. Happy to get back to you. Happy to report how these have held up over time. Maybe I'll even do a long-term review at that point as well to make it easier. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one.